guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Hi, how you doing? What's up? So today, as you can see, I am doing my March monthly wrap-up.
She was too independent.
I have my computer here with all of the stats that I have, so let's just get into it. So I read 11 books this month, which is 3,896 pages and 75 hours and 20 minutes. For genres, I read 4 thrillers, 4 romance, 4 contemporary, 3 mystery, 3 horror, 1 LGBTQ, and 1 literary book. More stats. I read 27%, which is equivalent to 3 books, were less than 300 pages. 55%, which is equivalent to 6 books, was less than 300 to 499 pages. And then 18%, which is 2 books, was 500 and over. All the books I read this month was fiction. The mood storygraph said I read the most was mysterious, tense, funny, emotional, dark, lighthearted, sad, and reflective. My average star rating for the month is 4.0. So that's all the stats that I currently have for you guys. So these are all the books that I read for March. So let us just get started. Oh my goodness, don't fall again, please. The first book that we read this month was Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I'm really bad at pronouncing his last name. This was a mystery thriller book. It was really a fun mystery thriller book if you ask me. So it's about the main character, Mallory, who just got a rehab. She got a job with this couple, which is pretty much babysitting their 5-year-old son, I believe. Babysitting their son. And their son really enjoys drawing, so he draws these little stick figures, which they actually have the pictures in the book, which I thought was so much fun. As time goes on, those stick figures ends up turning into just pictures that a 5 or 6-year-old should not be able to draw at all. Okay, and so Mallory's just trying to figure out like what is going on, what's up with this, what are these pictures about. So what I really enjoy about this book is that we are also looking at the pictures. I was trying to take the pictures and figure out what do these pictures mean. So like even before she would do certain things with the pictures, I was just sitting there looking at the pictures like, I don't want to show you too much, but I was like, I thought there was words inside of it. Like, I was like, there has to be a hidden message in the picture or something. I was really enjoying this book, okay? So yeah, I thought this was a fun book. It definitely kept me on my toes. It definitely was a runaround for me because I was trying to really figure out who did it. It kept me engaged the whole time. And I also really liked the ending. I thought the ending was well played. After I finished, I looked on Goodreads and I see not a lot of people like this book, which I don't really understand why. Some people was like, the ending sucked. I was like, I enjoyed the ending personally. So I thought this was a good book to start the month off with for a 5 stars. I definitely rated this a 5 stars. I would recommend this book to my friends. The second book that I read for March is Carrie by Stephen King. Eventually I want to read all of his books, so I started off from the very beginning, okay? Don't come for me. I started from the very beginning, alright? So the main character is obviously Carrie, and she is a teenager and she gets bullied at school, and no one really knows that she has this power that pretty much means you shouldn't fuck with her. Period. Alright? It just pretty much goes on from there. She has telekinesis and the whole story was crazy, okay? She really gets bullied. I think my jaw was dropped. I was just like, no freaking, what the? I was mad for her. Like, what the? I would have, the thing is I would have did. Anyway. I really did enjoy this book. After I read it, I of course watched the movie, and I feel like the book was way better than the movie, if you ask me. Of course, the movie has some of its iconic scenes and things, but I thought the book just hit differently for me for some reason. This is his first book. I thought it was written very well. In the end, it's Stephen King. This was a great read to me. I rated this book a 4 stars. After you read this book, you're definitely gonna want to read like a romance book or something that I did not do. The next book that I read was Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misadfortunes by Eric LaRocca? I don't know. I'm forever gonna be really bad with names. So this book it's horror, but it's also short stories, so horror short stories. It has 3 stories in it, which I really enjoyed all of them, okay? I was vibing with them all. So the first story is about 2 women who meet in a chat room, and they pretty much just open about their sexuality. Oh, and this is the one that is LGBTQ related. They pretty much fall for each other, and they also open up about their desires and like things like that. What I really did like about the story is that because they're on the chat room, the pages literally look like their emails going back and forth with each other, but the way that this was written really made you feel like you were reading someone's email, and I enjoyed that. I think I rated the first story a 4 stars. The second story is about a couple who goes to this private island to not babysit but watch over a hotel or something like that, and they go to the private island, but they're really mostly for not get over but kind of get over the grief, the loss of their son, to just move past it, to kind of like fall in love again, because you know something like that tragically happened. So they're just trying to find each other again, but the island pretty much isn't what it seems, and it just goes on from there. And it is really crazy. I think I really love that story too. I think I rated that story also a 4. I was not expecting the ending of that little short story to be how it was, okay? The last story was, it wasn't the best to me. So I think that's probably why it was last. It was about a guy who found something in his backyard. He went over to his neighbor's house to figure out if his neighbor knew what the item was, and it somehow gets trapped into playing games, like more like betting games with this neighbor, and the story just goes on from there. It was really stinking good. I rated that was my least favorite story though. I rated that story a 3. But all these stories had my attention and I was hooked. There was some things that was a little weird for me, and that's why some stories got a 4. All in all, for the whole book, I rated it a 4. I did read this book in one day. It was an easy, really quick read, very interesting, kept my interest the entire time. I really enjoyed this book. It was a little disturbing, but just in the right amount. I thought it was really good. The next book I read was Do Not Disturb by Frida McFadden. I feel like I'm 3 for 3 with the disturbing books right now. This one's not as disturbing as the other 2, but still. This is also a mystery thriller. The main character, her name is Quinn, and she commits a crime, okay? And now she has to run away from said crime, okay? The day she commits this said crime, there's a said snowstorm. It's just so funny. It's just to me so funny to say it like this. And she pretty much has to hunker down at this hotel and survive the night. That's what it literally says on the back. Yeah, but first she must survive the night. It just goes on from there. This book definitely had all the twists and turns you could possibly think for something like this. I definitely thought it was giving a little too much of Bates Motel, but that was more in the beginning than anything. After it started really going, I was like, oh, okay. No, not okay, because I really don't know where this is going. Like, that's how I felt. I thought it was going to be more like that. I don't want to say too much, but I know a lot of people don't really like a lot of her new releases that she's doing, but I felt like this was good. It wasn't crazy. I feel like some things were a little missing for me. I don't know, could have been put together a little more better. I feel like some things kind of was, I don't know, a little sloppy, I guess. But in the end, I still really enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5. It was a great story. Really enjoyed myself reading this book. Something in it was just missing for me. But all in all, I would recommend this book. The next book that I read was Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I really enjoyed this. It definitely, when I picked this book up, I was expecting to go this way, and the book took me that way. Okay? I was not expecting to get from this book what it gave me. Okay? Not at all. Not even a little bit. Maybe a little bit, but not as much as it did. It's the Knock 'Em Out series, and this is the first book. There's 3 of them. This is the first book. The main character is Naomi. She is going to knock 'em out because she was running away. 1, she was running away anyway. And 2, her twin sister really needed her help with something. By the way, her twin sister is evil. When she came in to help her, she took everything. And it was like, oh, by the way, here, you take my child. So the evil twin sister left her kid with her sister, who didn't even know she had a niece. So while all of this is unfolding, main male interest in this book, Knox, was witnessing this whole thing just fall out. And he's a big grump. He's a pit bull, if you must say. For some reason, he really feels like he needs to help this girl, so he does. And that's pretty much where the love interest and everything comes from, and where the book pretty much goes on from there. But the things I was expecting in this book was not, I was like, whoa, buddy. Like, after a good 200 pages in, I was like, what is going on? So I definitely went in here blind. I did not get any warning for what was really gonna happen in this book. It is definitely an adult romance, okay? But it's good. It is a good adult romance, okay? The kid, the niece, Waylay, I really adore her. She's a fucking G in this book, okay? And I really don't like kids in books. I've said this before. But she's dope as heck, okay? She's the second dopest kid I know because my niece is the first. That's all I got to say. And everyone else in this book, their character, their personalities, their quirks, I really enjoyed. There wasn't no one in this book that I hated except for the evil sister, but they made her that way. And the banter between Naomi and Knox, to die for, okay? To die for. Literally, I couldn't get enough of it. I feel like that's what definitely made me finish this book in like 2-3 days, because you see these little tabs? Yeah, that's the banter. Alright, honey, that's the banter. The banter was bantering. I would definitely recommend this book. I rated this book a 5 stars. It was so good. The next book that I read after that one is The Inmate by Frida McFadden again. This book is also a mystery thriller book. The main character is named Brooke. Yes, Brooke. She just got a job at a prison, and the main rules at this prison is like, don't talk to no prisoners, don't do nothing with no prisoners, because you don't want these prisoners to like possibly get out one day and know where to get you. Just even getting the job, she fucked up, okay? There's an inmate in there that is her high school sweetheart that she pretty much got sent to jail. Sent this dude to jail, alright? Because she witnessed a crime that he was committing and then testified against him. And that's where everything unfolds. I really liked this book. It was twisty, it was turny. I couldn't figure out, I couldn't figure out. And you know me, I already said I like playing Sherlock Holmes. I could not figure out for the life of me what was about to happen, okay? And the whole book was full of lies. The whole book was just full of lies. The book was, everyone was lying. The main character's lying. I'm like, what is the truth? What is the truth? Yeah, I was rereading paragraphs trying to make sure I remember certain details so I could figure out who was telling the truth, like what was happening. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun read. It was fast-paced, super fast-paced. I read this also for my 24-hour readathon. I rated this book 4 stars. It was really good. The next book that I read is The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose. On Goodreads it says it's a mystery thriller. To me, it's more of a cozy mystery for sure. That's what I also felt about The Maid, but I liked The Maid more than I liked this book. So this is the second book to The Maid, if you don't know. It goes about the first book, Molly. She's the main character, and in the first book she was just a maid, and Molly, she's very meticulous. She likes things done the right way, okay? She follows by the rules, and she enjoys cleaning. This is why she became a maid. She knew this was a job for her. The second book, she is now head maid. So in this book, pretty much another dead body. Of course, obviously. Another dead body pops up, and it actually happened to be a person that she knew from her past with her grandma, because her and her grandma used to clean this guy's mansion. So the story goes on from there pretty much. The only reason why I was upset, maybe it was just because I was tired, because I was reading this in my 24-hour readathon, and then it was like 4 in the morning when I was reading this. But I really appreciate that we got her more of her backstory and more of her grandma, but I kind of just really wish we got her living like life now, and like her with her boyfriend and like that whole thing, and then still got some of her background more, if you know what I mean. Like that's kind of what I wish. I was kind of upset when we didn't really get much of the boyfriend. The real mystery of the book was just, it wasn't hitting. I was very underwhelmed the entire time I was reading this book. It was very saddening. I wanted to fall asleep so many times reading this book. So I don't know if it was the book's fault or it's my fault if I wasn't ready for this book yet, but I did end up rating this book. I think it was a 3.5. Let me look. No, I didn't. I rated this book a 3. And I honestly forgot about the whole story, really. I probably would have forgot that I even read this book if it wasn't for this wrap up. I was really excited to read this book too, but then once I did, I was very upset with myself. The pacing was just way too slow for me, but I really liked her first book. Her first book I rated a 4, so I don't know why. I don't know if it was the book or if it was me. So, there's that one. The next book that I read is Things We Hide from the Light. It is the second book to the Knock 'Em Out series, but this book goes off of Nash, Knox's brother, and his love life. So Nash is a cop, and I can't really say too much because I don't want to ruin the first book. So Nash is a cop, and he's going through a lot of trauma, let's say, from the first book and what happened in that book. So he pretty much leans on Lena, which is his next door neighbor, to help him cope. Cope. You know? Cope. And it goes on from there. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like this book that much as I did the first book. I don't know if it was just their love life story or wasn't as great as the first book. I still enjoyed the banter of everyone. I still enjoyed the characters because it's the same characters from the first book, so of course the characters were still given. But I just feel like maybe it wasn't their story that was given, especially because there was so much spicy stuff in the first like 50 pages. I was like, I wasn't ready for this right now. Like, I thought I was gonna get this 100 pages in. Like, what is happening? But I feel like it was just giving a setup for the third book. Yeah, their love story I just didn't really enjoy that much. They were still cute. The whole book was still cute. Everybody was still cute. The banter was still cute. I thought it was still written good. I just feel like something was missing for me, so I did end up rating this book 4 stars. I did enjoy this book a lot less than the first book. I am definitely excited to read the third book, and I hope it's giving like the first one was. The next book that I read was Finlay Donovan is Killing It by Ellie Kazimano. The next 2 books, and this book included, that you're gonna see was the video for my Little Free Library. And I pretty much found 3 books in the Little Free Library and read those to see how I would like them. And these were books that I personally would not have chosen to read at all. I've seen people read them, and that's all I really needed. You know, I just needed to see it being read and their opinions, and that was it. And I didn't even really watch that because I don't remember really anything that happened in any of them being talked about. So I still had to read the blurb on the back to really get a feeling for what these books are about. This book is about Finlay Donovan. She is a mother of 2. She just got divorced, and she's also a writer. So she goes ahead and meets her agent. I believe it's her agent. She goes and meets her agent at a cafe, and her agent are pretty much talking about the book that she's supposed to be writing. So a lady in a table close to her is overhearing this conversation that's happening between them two. The conversation that she's hearing misconstrued it in her mind to where she thinks that this lady, Finlay Donovan, is a contract killer. So she pretty much says like, hey, go kill my husband. And the story just goes pretty much off there. I'm not gonna say too much because I did give all of my reviews, but I'm gonna give a little bit of review, obviously. I really did enjoy this book. I am glad I found it. It definitely was really good. I am actually going to read the second book because I have to know what happened, especially with the cliffhanger they left us off on the last page. Honey, no, we have to figure out what's going on. Like, I need to know what's about to happen, okay? It is a mystery, but it was a very cozy mystery. It was very fun and lighthearted, but it was, but it wasn't. See, this is how you do a cozy mystery right here. I don't know what Mystery Guest was doing over there, but this was the cozy mystery that I really enjoy, alright? And then there's a relationship in here that you would not expect to flourish, but it does, and I freaking loved it. I was like, yes, let's go. And the banter between them two were super adorable, and I really enjoyed it. I rated this book 4 stars, and I cannot wait to read the second one. Honestly, I really cannot wait. This book was really good. The first 30 pages got me hooked, and that's what we love to see. Yeah, and then the last page of this book got me hooked to want to read the second book. So the next book that I read is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is a contemporary romance. When I found this book, I was like, But that was the point of me doing the little libraries, to go out of my comfort zone, and I think I did that reading these 3 books. So I really enjoyed it, which I didn't think I was going to. I really do. I love me enemies to lovers trope, okay? But for some reason, for me, I don't love it when it's just that, okay? Like, when it's in like a fantasy world, it's like at least we have other components working with that. You know, when it's just that, then I feel like this is obviously going to be miscommunication, people running away, situations like that. That's what I thought this book was going to give me. And I was wrong. I will admit it. I was wrong. I'm sorry. It is pretty much about 2 people who work at the same office. They work at the same office, and they're each assistants to their own CEO. So their CEOs pretty much say that there is a promotion lined up, and only one of them could get it. So now they feel like they have to battle to win the promotion. And they always play little games in the office anyway, so they're just like, this is another game. And then it just goes on from there. So that's pretty much what it's about. I really did like it. There was some parts in the very beginning where I was just like I felt like it was giving me what I thought it was going to give me, and I did not appreciate that at all, girl. I was like, no. Eventually, it started warming up to me. Their banter became really freaking adorable, okay? I must say, when it really like hit for me is when I was listening to this on audiobook. This hit in a different way than reading it. If you haven't already read it, listen to it on audiobook. You'll know what I mean, okay? Because it was hidden. It was given on audiobook. When I was reading it, it was a little bit more cringy to me. Listening to this, I was giggling, like kicking my feet, laughing with them, okay? It was given, alright? But reading it, I was like, So I did end up rating this a 3.5. I was going back and forth between a 3 and a 3.5 for a long time. But I ended up giving it a 3.5. I thought it was really cute. Their banter was cute. And I really fuck with Joshua, I fuck with him. I understand this man, okay? I get him. I got him. The one part that really was annoying me for the whole entire book was that they literally mentioned how, like, petite and little she is. Every chapter. Every single chapter. And that was the only thing that I was just like, I really cannot deal with this. And there's no hate coming from a tall person, okay? Small women win, okay? Tall women win too, but we got you. I have no hate, alright? Because if my family sees this and I say short people suck, they're gonna beat me up. So, no, we love short women, okay? But you don't have to say it in every single chapter. That was the only part that was really just like irking me a little bit, was just that. But the rest of the book I really enjoyed. I loved the ending. I loved their banter. I enjoyed the writing. The writing was really well, and it was not what I was expecting the writing to be. This is my first book from Sally Thorne, and I'm going to keep trying her books out. The tides have turned, and I will try another book from Sally Thorne because of this. There's romance in this book, but it's not crazy romance. Like, there's some things that happen, but it's not like too spicy or anything like that. It was good nonetheless. I really enjoyed it. So the last book for this month that I read is In 5 Years by Rebecca Shirley. Now, if you did watch my little free library video, you can see how much I was crying, sobbing towards this book. I was sobbing, okay? I just couldn't help it, alright? This book had me in tears. So it's about a lady. She's a lawyer, or she's working towards being bigger, or a CEO of a law firm or something like that. She just goes for this interview for another job to get, to get higher up on the steps of where she wants to be. Her boyfriend just proposed to her. She said yes. She has an apartment she wanted, and she's very into numbers, so like she kind of like planned how her future was gonna look. The day that she says yes to saying fiance, she falls asleep. She wakes up 5 years in the future for 1 hour, and now she's in a new apartment, she's in a new dress, and she's next to a new man. That's all I gotta say. Alright, that's all I gotta say. When she wakes back up, that is 1 hour she cannot shake. She's been thinking about that hour for years. Alright? I did really enjoy this book. I thought this book could definitely be a 5 stars for me. But the ending, I just did not like the way that the ending was written. I really loved this book. I loved the friendship in this book. Okay? The friendship is what had me hooked from the beginning. The writing was really well. It was very fast paced. I feel like the book was more based off of friendship than it was off of romance. There was very little to no romance in this book. There was like 3 pages put together of romance in this book. The banter was good, but I say it was great towards the friendship aspect. But this book was way more emotional than I thought it was going to be. And that's probably because it was way more like real life stuff, like things that can happen in a day-to-day basis with, your friends, your family, your peoples. So, I don't know, it just hit my soul, it hit my heart really deep. Still really good. I just did not agree with this ending at all. Kind of made me a little upset a little bit, but 4 stars. I would have rated a 5, but the ending said nope, so I'm saying nope, okay? Now, that was the last book that I read, but there is another book that I keep trying to pick up, and I just don't think I am in a memoir mode right now. Page Boy by Elliot Page. Alright. Well, that book is Page Boy by Elliot Page. I think I read 9 pages in the last month. Put you down for right now because I feel like that's a disservice to the book and to his story, and I would just feel really bad if I wasn't putting my all attention into this book. So it's not gonna go anywhere, but I felt like I did pick it up once or twice this month, so I felt like I had to show it. I'm putting it back in my book sleeve because I don't want anything to happen to it while it's waiting for me patiently. That's it for me. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I am sorry I am feeling really like dog shit right now. Either way, if you got through this entire video, I appreciate you a lot, and I thank you. Comment down below if you also read one of the books that I have read for March. Tell me how you felt about it. Tell me if you already read one of the books that I read. Tell me if you thought my rating was yay or nay. I would love to have a discussion about it, and I think that's all for me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you get some really, really good reading in, okay? Because you deserve it. You deserve some good reading, okay? So I'll see you, or I hope you get to see me in the next video. Later.
She was too independent.
I'm gonna put my computer here. Excuse my big old face. It's okay. It's all good. Everything. So I thought this was everything is just dinging. It was wild. Yeah. My head really starting to like pound. And I have to like pee after this book. Whenever I laugh, I gotta call. Jesus. Should I even say that? Is that a spoiler? Nah, it can't be, right? It's already written in paper. Sorry, I just had like a coughing fit. Oh my gosh. Dang, that one was serious. And their CEOs pretty much do this thing, and they have to. What's the right way to say this? They have to now